Hey guys and girls, I'm Linksalt123 and welcome to another video about me talking about a future Zelda game that we might see something from the next 2 years or something, because we just got Breath of the Wild and that was such an amazing game, but I'm sure Nintendo won't stop the franchise of Zelda, so they will probably release some kind of a new game within the next 4 years or something. And in today's video, I'm going to give my thoughts to you guys and girls what I think Nintendo will apply to the new Zelda game, and what they will take away from the Zelda game, and what kind of elements they will put in. So it's basically just to jump straight into it, and I have 5 points I will be going through the video, and that's about characters, the kind of texture style, the story, and such on. So basically we just have a lot of things to talk about, so let's just jump straight into it and take it one by one. Well, the first thing to talk about is the characters and the protagonist. I'm 100% sure that Nintendo will apply Link as a playable character in the game, because he have been the main protagonist in every single Zelda game up to date. So I think they will put him in once again. But another thing is, in Breath of the Wild, and probably also a little bit in Skyward Sword, which was the second newest Zelda game with a new story, not just a remake, he looks like some kind of a combination of a girl and a boy. So maybe we will be able to actually play as Zelda or another girl, and then Link on the other side. So it's gonna be like Grand Theft Auto 5, where you can switch between two characters. It could be pretty nice. For example, in Twilight Princess we got Midna and the original Link, or Wolf Link, and it could be pretty nice to add that little idea to switch to Midna in some cases where you need her and she could probably fly or something. So if you could do that between two characters, it would be such a nice thing to put in each Zelda game, because it gives a new feeling to it. And instead of making a game about a talking hat like in Minish Cap, it could be pretty nice to actually steer around or control your second-hand body. For example, Navy, Midna, the Minish Cap, whatever you want. So it's basically my idea about characters and the protagonist, that they could switch between these. It would be pretty nice to actually play like that. And the characters, it's basically, it can be anything, man, because you can also be playing as a Goron or a Sora or a Deku like in Majora's Mask, or something else. So the characters that will appear around the game, it can be everything. So I really don't know. The next thing to talk about is the place, the environment where the game will be set in. Is it gonna be Termina, Hyrule, Lorule, whatever you wanna call it, Minish Land maybe? Well, I think it can be, yeah, from Hyrule to Lorule, anything, man. So I have no answer for that, but I think we have seen water, we have seen wind in Skyward Sword, and water from Wind Waker. We have seen Twilight in Twilight Princess, normal land in Majora's Mask and Ocarina of Time, and other Zelda games too. So I really don't know what they are missing in their elements they're going to put out in the game. For example, it could be lava, fire, something, because we got water and wind. So that could be pretty nice to add. But it will depends on, if you're playing as a Goron, he will be able to stand against this fire and actually control the heat. But if you're playing as original Link, he will basically just burn down to nothing in like a minute or so. So we will probably not see any kind of fire element put it into the main story of any Zelda game, because it will need you to play as a Goron. But I think it could be Lorule. Maybe someone is going back to Lorule, or Termina maybe, because we haven't seen much to Termina, only in Majora's Mask, or probably just the good old Hyrule, because we all love that place, right? So it could be pretty much anything, but the element could be some more sailing or combination, like in Majora's Mask, with both snow, water, yeah, what kind of call it, a forest in the Woodfall area, and stuff. So it could be a pretty nice combination, and for sure also a kind of field which is desert. These 4 elements is a great thing to add in the game because there's so many different places, and they don't gonna remind you of each other because they are really different. Some of the places got eyes on them, other places you will need to swim and stuff like that. So I really hope they will do that once again, maybe with different worlds you could travel into, like in Wind Waker, but you should probably travel instead of ride your Epona, for example. It would be pretty nice to add into a Zelda game once again. I really like that feature in Majora's Mask. The next thing we're going to talk about is the storyline. Basically, the storyline depends very much on the protagonist and the different characters throughout the game, and also the element that are put into the game, because the whole storyline will be based on that. But I think instead of just playing as Link, running around Hyrule to save the land, or Princess Zelda from the evil King Ganondorf, or whatever you want to talk about, weird ass characters that probably wants to keep Princess Zelda as their slave just because they can, all the evil guys, it would be pretty nice to add something new in this kind of story. For example, if Link was a king instead of just a random ass town boy that experiencing a lot of things throughout the game. But maybe if Link was the fucking king and he wants to save his queen, for example, so you can still keep the old Zelda, but you can still turn it into a new way because Link is actually the king. And if people was looking up to him instead of just looking down to him because you're playing as adult Link or young Link or whatever you want to call it, so if you could add that kind of thing into the game, I think it would be pretty nice. If you have been playing Fable, that franchise, it's a really great franchise. I really do love that, especially because you got different choices through the game. Because, for example, you can go through a prison somewhere in the game, and you have the choice between save him, so you will actually unlock the door so he can run free, or you can keep him in and you can be the good guy and not help the bad guys with locking him out. So I think those kind of choices could be really nice, because if Link was the king, he is basically the one who rules the land, and if Ganondorf or any kind of evil bastard that tries to steal his queen for weird purposes, I don't know, tries to take her, he needs to save her and the land, because yeah, that's just what a king does, right? So I think that could be a pretty nice twist on the storyline. I really hope Nintendo will listen to that, because it would make this new Zelda game way better than all of the other Zelda games, I think, because yeah, the storyline needs some more improvement. We have seen so many times that Link is gonna save the land or princess. It's gonna be a bit boring. The next thing we will be talking about is the game style and textures, because right now I'm working on a texture pack for Ocarina of Time based on Breath of the Wild. You can find videos about it in my previous videos, and make sure to check that out actually, because it's actually pretty nice. Well, I just wanted to put this into my 5 points here to talk about, because textures does a great job if you want to make some kind of feeling with playing the game. For example, in Breath of the Wild, it's some kind of cartoonish, real life looking, but if you're looking at Wind Waker, it was way more childish and way more cartoonish, because it was a different kind of cell shading, as it's called, that they managed to put on the textures there. And if you take a look on Twilight Princess, for example, their textures looks really much like real life, at least at the time, so it gives you a more real life looking game. And I think I really want to see a more real life looking Zelda game once again, because last time we saw that was basically in Twilight Princess. We got some different remakes about Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask, but it's not the same, because it still looks like a cartoonish kind of game. I actually don't know if Majora's Mask and Zelda Ocarina of Time is what they were supposed to look like. Was it a cartoonish style game or a real life looking game? I have no clue. But I really think that a real life looking Zelda game would be so amazing, because we have the consoles to actually manage these textures we have seen in Skyrim for so many years ago actually. So I think it's time for Nintendo to put some different kind of resolution and texture style in the game. It would be so awesome to see as such a real life looking Zelda game. I know we can get some different HD texture pack for basically every Zelda game for emulator, but it's not the same, because if you can sit down and play it on the TV and it's actually an original Zelda game, it would be pretty nice. The last thing we will be talking about today, guys and girls, is what console will the next Zelda game come out to. Basically, it's gonna be the Nintendo Switch, probably. It depends on when the game will come out, but if we take a look on the old tech demo from Breath of the Wild, but with the Twilight Princess textures, the good old one with Link's fighting the spider in this kind of church looking place, that was probably running on the Wii U at the time. Yeah, I think so. The Nintendo Wii at the time was probably not that outdated as it is today, so maybe we will see something running on the Switch, but actually will be ported to a newer console also. So I don't think they want to drop the Switch just in like 4 years or something, because it's a really powerful console and it has so many features that is worth to keep. So they're not gonna they're not gonna scratch the idea about a Zelda game for the old, at the time, Nintendo Switch. Basically, I think it's gonna be for the Switch too, or maybe a handheld console, you never know, but I really don't hope they are going to put the new Zelda game on a handheld console. It's some years ago they did that with a Link, what the fuck was that called? I don't even remember, but it was an alright game, The Legend of Zelda. What is it even called? I can't even remember. Link Between Worlds, that's what it's called. And that game, it felt really nice, but I have always been liking the console Zelda games way more than the handheld consoles. I don't know why, but it just gives me a better feeling with playing the Zelda game on the TV, and it's probably because I grew up with Ocarina of Time, I think that. So maybe for the Switch or a handheld console, a new one, because I don't think Zelda games or newer games will be ported to the old Nintendo 3DS, because it's kind of outdated, I think. Yeah, I think it is. But it's a great machine, and we actually like it here at Link123's room, because damn, that handheld console was actually one of my favorite ones. Also because you could play at 3D, but I never managed to do that because, yeah, I'm getting headache off it, but that's just my damn body that doesn't like the 3D version there, but it's a whole nother talk, man. So that was everything for today, guys and girls. If you have any kind of idea for a new Zelda game, make sure to write it in the comment section, and also tell me what you think about this video, because I love the support and I just like to read what you guys and girls think is interesting and what you guys and girls think is boring with this video. So make sure to tell me that in the comment section. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I see you next time in the next video. Bye, guys and girls.